Today I will show you how to configure a clock file, attendance data file downloaded from a clock machine, how to configure system to read that file and gather the attendance of the employees. Before that, I will show you a small system configurations part which I have skipped last session, system parameters. These are system parameters which can be changed in order to enable and disable certain functionalities of the system. So allowed loading maximum records in priority approval page. This means you can set the parameter either 1 or 0. It's a flag, and you can set the parameter value. So now it's configured to show 100 records in the system when a priority page is loaded. So like that, there are plenty of flags that you can change. All are self-descriptive, so you can read the parameter name and understand what's the purpose of the flag. And when you get the mouse pointer on top of one record, it will open up a tooltip describing what are the parameters that you should enter, and according to that you can change these values. When you are trying to change these values, it will prompt a message saying that these settings will cause major changes in the system. That's a warning, so you can just click OK and change the values. So I'm not going to go one by one in each of these options. You can just point your mouse point on top of one and read the tooltip and understand what the purpose. And these names itself are self-descriptive, so you can understand what's the purpose. So let's move into the download configurations part. That's where you configure the system to download data from the clock machines. Before that, I will show you a sample clock file. This is a sample clock file, data file, which is generated from a clock machine. First, it has a barcode number. This is the number which is used to enroll the employee into the machine, and it has a uh, date of the swipe, and it has a time of the swipe, and it has a machine location, no machine number. You can configure it in the machine itself, barcode machine. So you have to enter this barcode number into the system against each employee. So when you're creating the employee, you have to go to the employee information, then go to employment details. Under barcode number, you will have to enter this number in the clock machine, the number which was used to enroll the employee into the clock machine. And you have to make sure that this checkbox is checked. That means time and attendance is active for this employee, otherwise his attendance record will not be captured. So you'll have to keep that checked and save. So system will use this number to search the clock file for that employee's attendance records. So you go to attendance configurations and download configuration. Uh, you can save these configurations as a template. There are two templates that have already been created. So I will create a new one. Click on new. Then you can select the data file type. Let's take text file. You can give a configuration name, and you can keep this template active in an active status or deactivated state. In order to capture attendance, you have to keep this in active status. Click on browse. Browse into the clock file, which is downloaded from the clock machine. You can configure clock machines to copy these files into a certain location, a certain folder in the system, and you can configure the system to uh, look in a certain folder to for a certain folder for the clock data files. So you can browse the data file and click on preview. Data file will be connected to the system, then you can click on OK. It will show the values in the that file in here. So now you have to do is clock number means the barcode number, this number, and here you have the character locations. So you will tell the system to read for the barcode number from the location 1 to location 9, and clock date from 12 to 20, and you will have to give the date format. Then you can give the clock time 22. If you want, you can configure the machine number and movement type also, but these three fields are the mandatory fields. So you can click on test parameters. Message will appear informing that 100 records, there are 100 records in this text file and they were tested and 0 were ignored. All those records were successfully matched with given formatting parameters. Click on OK. If you change one of these formattings, so it's different from the format here. It will give you a error. 100 records were tested, 100 were ignored. Check the formattings. So you'll have to enter the proper formattings according to the text file. So the validation is passed. You can click on save. Records will be saved. When the records are saved, it will insert a value into this table. It will have a sequence number, sample name, and type, and active flag. It will insert a value here, the location. By default, it will enter a value in the C drive of the system. You will have to update this using the folder where you want to store your clock file. So you will have to take this path and write an update statement to update this value here. So system will look in this folder for the clock files. Then you will have to configure the fingerprint machine to save data files in that also. So, and one other thing, you will have to give permission for this folder. Folder permissions. Uh, it will be sufficient to give system. It already has system, so I'll show you. Let's say everyone. And you will have to give full control and click on OK for this clock file. For this folder, so the clock files will be copied here from the clock machines. Then system will read these files from here, and system will create a folder called backup inside this folder location. And after reading the files, completed files will be stored in this backup folder. System will pick up the clock files from here, and after the reading, it will place the file here. After reading the clock files, system will insert those records into this table, HSTA clock download. Against each employee, against each date, it will have the swipes in times and out times. The CLK approved flag will be null when the system insert records from the clock file into this table. After the data is inserted to this table, attendance service will read the values in this table and update the daily attendance table against each employee in date, each employee in time and out time. Default value is -1, that's why it's -1. It will insert the in time and out time of the employee. Attendance service will do this. It will read the records which are inserted into this clock download table from the data file, and it will update the daily attendance file against each employee in time, in time and out time and out date. And these records will be picked into the interface. This is a test system, so I won't be able to show you attendance records. It will be available here. So another section that I was skipped last day was data process. This interface allows us to process data for employees for, say, a certain period manually. So you can select a date period and you can select search employee. You can select employees by entering employee numbers or searching an employee, or according to the employees roster and roster group and roster. So you select this employee for this time period. You can click populate. When you click populate, service will read the records from the clock download table against that particular employee number and date range, and reinsert those values into the daily attendance table. When you click on populate, it will automatically trigger the process part. And OT and late times will be calculated, processed based on employee in and out times. This process is happening automatically through the attendance service, but if you want to do it manually, you can use this data process page to do that. So that will be it for the attendance download part.